I believe that because we're diverse, we need to have affinity groups discussing solutions around what the Occupy movement is going to do. If we stand here and rant endlessly, people will get very bored with us very quickly. If we start to promote some active, effective, sustainable solutions to our problems, to our complaints, we're going to start to move towards a common goal and give credibility with the masses as to what we're actually up to and why we're doing it. With these weekly meetings that we're going to have every Saturday at 11 AM, we're going to move more strongly once people get into the rhythm of having those meetings and people can bring in solutions weekly to an open forum, and we can actually start giving voice to their affinity groups' issues and give voice to their solutions for those issues, we can all start to move forward. If we impose anything on anyone, nobody's going to work towards anything. If we give people the room to express themselves with solutions about what they're passionate about, those groups are going to tie together, people are going to find commonality, and people will eventually come up with some workable solutions for the 99%.
I'd like to thank Joe for really setting the scene about what's been going on this planet for the last 5,000 years or even and more recent. And I'd like to thank Arita for really setting the context as far as the people of this land. All of us here have very much have a legitimate gripe against a corrupt system. I was listening to Marianne Williamson speak online yesterday from Occupy LA, and she said these words. She said, "We are not so easy to mock, we are smart. We are not so easy to make fun of, we are non-violent. We are not so easy to dismiss, we are growing." And I felt that these were quite powerful words. Why are we here is the question of this forum. Henry David Thoreau was a philosopher who influenced the likes of Martin Luther King, he influenced Gandhi, and he was a very powerful man through his words. And he said that there are 1,000 hacking at the branches of evil to one who is striking at the root. Never before have we seen such a large-scale movement and solidarity against the financial structures. This is unprecedented, and I want everybody here to realise that you have got courage, okay? Whatever this society says, whatever it paints you to be, you guys are the Martin Luther Kings, you guys are the Gandhis. Peaceful non-violence is the way, it is the only way, and as long as we remain non-violent, we will win this and we will see justice. What I'm going to say, I believe, is something that I hope will stay with you guys for the rest of your lives, and that is the importance of making the distinction between a symptom and a root cause of a problem. When you have a piece of food underneath the fridge, ants come. If you decide that you want to squash the ants, that's fine, you have no more ants. But eventually, what happens? The ants come back. If you remove that piece of food, you have no more ants. When we have a headache, many of us will take pain medication. When we're wise and we allow a little bit of stillness to enter into our lives, we can perhaps feel in our bodies and realise that maybe there's a root cause, maybe something is causing this headache, maybe we're dehydrated. And for the first time at a global level, we're beginning to realise that it is actually the financial structures that hold the power. And we need solutions. And we've identified where the problem is coming from. It is the financial powers and it is structures. So capitalism is an ism. And there are many other isms, and we need to start addressing root causes, because if we replace capitalism with another ism, then we're probably going to end up with more of the same problems. What we have at the moment is something called structural industrialism or structural classism. So even if we do get another system in here, we're still going to have a monetary system which is going to hold down the poor and keep them in debt and paying interest, and it's going to keep the rich where they are and receiving the interest that those poor are paying. So in conclusion, if we want to find a solution, we need to start looking at the root cause of the problem, and I believe that that is the monetary system itself. So again, I want to say that everybody here has a legitimate reason for being here, because there are so many problems at the moment. But if we want to eliminate all of those problems, we need to look at the root cause and start thinking about what we can do about that. Joe mentioned non-compliance, and I think it's a great start. So I'm from the Zeitgeist Movement. If you want more information, there's a movie called Zeitgeist Moving Forward. It's a powerful documentary, and thank you for your time. Thank you.
The 99% are full of very smart people, so we can work towards solutions. But all we need to achieve social change are 4 things. A crisis, we got that. Leaders, every single one of us is a leader in this movement. Yeah? A crisis, leaders, big ideas, and for some of us occupying is a big idea, and it's gone global. And the next step. Notice I didn't say the end-all solution. I said the next step. So if we're able to do that in our groups and come up with a good idea for the next step, then I think we're working towards something that we can achieve.
Woo.
Yeah?
Nice. Group into affinity groups around certain ideas, and we can give you pens, paper, so you can just put your ideas now. And we'll have a feedback session with one spokesperson of each group, feeding back. If you don't have a specific affinity group, that's fine. Just get together with some people and think about what's the next step. So this is our question. What is the next step?
Has a goal of a new economy. Move away from the cash. I don't know whether what you just said actually fits with a new economy. Do you feel it still does?
Market dictates itself. At the moment, we've got a rigged market capitalism. Basically, these guys tell us the value of things, and we believe it because we're not educated to do otherwise.
That is a concern is what we call just alignment. You need to get alignment of cause or alignment of purpose. But it doesn't mean that there isn't a lot of different agendas and belief systems and issues going on here. But if we're going to look at how are we going to actually transform and move forward, we need to create some sort of common starting point.
So let's talk solutions. Next step.
So what's our next step here for this occupation so that we can honour that partnership in our thing here?
One thing is that everyone participates, and the way that consensus tries to be unified is that there is no vote. There's either you agree, you don't agree, and you walk, right? So when true consensus is reached, it means no one is here or here. Everyone is here or here, regardless of race or culture. And what consensus tries to do is put a lot of weight on even 1 or 2 people who may block. Yeah. So even if there were only 2 Maori here and everyone else is Pākehā, if the 2 Maori were blocking, we don't move forward, right? We don't move forward over that unless it's something that's.
But it is actually happening. So yes, the Maori wanted to put a marae here, and they were blocked. You see, so it can work against Māori. That's why I fight for a 50% say, so that we come together, we make our own decisions. You come together, you make your own decisions, and if we're lucky, we will agree.
For me, I see that it's very important for us to keep focused at the moment. While we have many issues to address, consider that we need to fundamentally look at whether or not we reconnect with our planet in the context of how our value system has been a bit sidetracked, to say the least, within our the way our financial model for this planet is working. We all know what has taken place between the corporations and the governance. There's been a disconnect here. What I would love to see happen is everyone staying focused on the essential cornerstones that can provide the platform for us to move forward powerfully, but be linked with our global community and this organization, which is linked going on in many places at the moment. We need to make sure that we look at, as I would call it, an alignment of process. We have a common goal, we have our own individual goals, but we need to work in a way that respects all of our interests, but is working in a united fashion towards a common outcome. So considering alignment and a general, backing the bus up a little bit, How exactly that takes place, I need to speak about that. But we have a unique and wonderful opportunity that's taking place right now.
A resource-based economy model is about taking a direct technical approach to social management as opposed to a monetary or political one. It is about updating the workings of society to the most advanced and proven methods science has to offer, leaving behind the damaging consequences and limiting inhibitions which are generated by our current system of monetary exchange, profits, corporations and other structural and motivational components. This emergent approach is able to grow with new knowledge and technology without being stifled by profit motives. The resource-based economy utilises existing resources rather than money and provides an equitable method of distribution in the most humane and efficient manner for the entire population. It is a system in which all natural man-made, machine-made and synthetic resources would be available without use of money, credits, barter or any other form of symbolic exchange. A resource-based economy would utilise existing resources from the land and sea and the means of production such as physical equipment and industrial plants to enhance the lives of the total population. In an economy based on resources, conservation and the most advanced methods of science and technology, we could easily reduce all of the necessities of life and provide a high standard of living for all. To do this, we have to overcome our current outdated established practices.
Kia ora, my name is Rainbow Whitty. I'm part of the Zeitgeist Movement New Zealand chapter, which is made up of around 2,000 to 3,000 New Zealanders worldwide. We have around 500,000 to 600,000 members worldwide. And I'm part of that group, which is a sustainability advocacy group, which we advocate a new social design, which moves away from the social designs that we have now that don't work for humanity. And what I've seen here in the occupation is the coming together of different groups, and that's awesome. People have their own sort of possible solutions, but what people actually don't realize is they frame those solutions within the current preset guidelines of the monetary system. And what I'm actually saying in an analogy is like they're rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. Yes, the Titanic is going down and they're rearranging those deck chairs, so there's no point in rearranging the deck chairs. What we need to look at doing is creating something, a new Titanic, something that can't sink, that's unsinkable. And so this is where we come in terms of the Zeitgeist Movement. We advocate a resource-based economy, and a resource-based economy is a social design that uses our technology wisely, that creates an abundance for all people, where we share without the use of money, barter, or any of those things that hold us or restrict us back. And it's a place where we can fully express our uniqueness in terms of creating, designing, following our passions. We're not restricted by money like in a monetary system. Everything that you do is really based on purchasing power. And so the more money you have, the more options you have. Whereas in a resource-based economy, you have access, abundance to resources. You have access to technology. You have access to the latest things to help you develop yourself and to develop the society as a whole. And it's coming back to aligning with everybody and working together as one human family, because that's what we are. We're a human family. This monetary system has put us into little individual pockets. Your Māoris, your Pākehā, your so-and-so, your this isn't, your that isn't. Whereas in a resource-based economy, we're all humans and we share commonalities. And those commonalities are the basic necessities of life for a start: food, water, shelter. Those are the things that we need to look at sustaining ourselves with, so we can survive here on this planet in a sustainable way. Because if we don't, we're heading into a planet that's going to be totally exploited of its resources to the point where the human race will look at being extinct within a very, very short period of time. So we're at a crux right now with these occupations. People have seen that the system itself is unsustainable. They want to do something about it, yet some of them don't have the solution to look far beyond. They don't have the creative outlook to look further beyond. So this is an ongoing process. And so I'm here to advocate a new social design, because I think this is the pinnacle of humanity, where we can decide whether we want to stay in the current system and go down with the Titanic, or do we want to go onto a raft or a life raft that is more sustainable, that can keep afloat, in fact that can fly away and move to something that's more holistic, more transparent, more holographic, and more humane for all people on the planet.
You find a happy